ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay.
And welcome in, another big day. Lots of headlines, and man, oh man. Told you about Lake America yesterday. The president continues to tweet about that. There's a full-blown trade war brewing there with Canada, and it's not all him. In fact, the truth on that, we're going to get to coming up in just a little bit. What's really happening with Canada, the shenanigans underway there. What they're doing, what they want to do, Carney there in Canada is pretty despicable. We'll get to that. Maha Missy with us today on the Maha Health Update. You won't want to miss. We got big news, big stories. All of it coming to you in just moments as we fire things up. MyPillow.com/Justin. MyStore.com/Justin. You want to help support the program, you can in every single way, every day. Well, we've got a great way to do that with great goodies from the folks at MyPillow, Mike Lindell and the team. Keys of Dream Sheets, towel sets, mattress toppers, mattresses themselves in incredible prices. It is, it's pretty amazing when you see what he actually puts out, what they do, the best stuff out there. And good news is you can support Mike and the team while you're supporting this program as well. We got big updates for folks who are joining the Maha mission with me. In fact, big news, we got a lot of losers out there. And I mean that in a good way. In fact, folks losing weight at record clips, and just amazing to see the results. In fact, we got another big highlight coming at you today. Missy will give you, plus the latest on all those stories, as I mentioned, Maha related. And the death of Dolly Parton. Actually, we're going to touch on this with our Maha updates coming up this morning as well on the program. So we thank you for being here with us. Obviously, so much to cover. There's so much to get through. We will endeavor through it all coming up in just moments. Plus, as I mentioned, a chance to win big when you share the program today. It's sharing is caring each and every day. Giving you something cool from inside the store. We'll pick a winner at the end of the show. You don't have to be present to win, but all you have to do is click share. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, YouTube, just click share, and then we'll, at the end of the show, draw somebody's name. You can pick a tee, a hoodie, a mug, a tumbler, something. We got all the America 250 gear. We got all the original Justin gear, and then the Jesus Saves USA out there as well, as we gear up for another big one right here. And don't forget, our good friend, I mentioned this earlier this week, I think probably either tomorrow or Friday, probably leaning closer to Friday. Our good friend Dave Galloway at Heartland Home Mortgage most likely will be joining us to discuss the latest in the mortgage Fed interest rate conversation that is continuing to pick up some interesting speed. Have you seen the latest on what's going on with the Fed? That'll be a good one to get into. We'll do it all today coming up, or actually Friday coming up on the program. HHMlending.com. Reach out to Dave. By the way, they've got $500 off for folks who listen to this program. $500 towards your closing costs. All you have to do is mention my name, and Dave and the team will be happy to hand that over to you. Who else do you know that's going to give you goodies like that? All right, the big stories, the ones that matter most, the one we talk about around the water cooler, the dinner table, and more. We kicked things off with election night yesterday, the primaries in a couple of different states. South Carolina, we had a runoff. Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, wins that race. Trump endorsing. Trump had a good night last night. Trump backed Mike Mazzei, I think his name is, or Mazzy, or Mazzy. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. It's Mazzei. Wins in Oklahoma in the governor's primary there. That was a tight one, but he pulled it off. Another race we've got an eye on is another Democrat socialist won last night. In fact, in Oklahoma. Now, this candidate probably doesn't have a snowball's chance to win in the general, but it shows you what's happening inside the Democrat Party. Maybe we'll dig a little bit deeper into that story itself in a bit. Something smells rotten in Michigan. In fact, I've been following this, and I don't know if you have too, but Democrat canvassers have voted to keep citizens-only voting. That initiative that I think there were 700,000 signatures gathered for this. It really is, it's something. They say you don't have enough. You only needed 400,000. Now make that make sense. Here's what they do. They do this sampling process. Jocelyn Benson, Secretary of State, and all that Michigan Board of Canvassers crusade. We'll take a sample of 1,000. They found that out of the sample of 1,000, only 626 of those signatures reviewed in the sample were valid. They needed 629 in the sample out of their system, their way of doing this, to actually equal that threshold. Folks, I don't know about you, but I smell this is rotten. Whatever this is absolutely rotten. Will this eventually end up going in front of the court? Will they be able to take a look at this and say, no, that should have ended up, you gotta go through and count all of these? I don't know, but I'm telling you, what we know is there's another initiative out there that they had a more lenient process to vet these through, and this smells to the high heavens. Americans for Citizens voting chairman Paul Jacobs saying you can't cheat the people of Michigan and get away with it. We'll see how this story develops. Everyone ought to be ringing the alarm on this, because again, if this type of thing holds, we no longer have a system, a way of addressing things in Michigan. And maybe the feds have to step in. Maybe there's a Supreme Court issue instead. Another story that's very curious. Did you see the CIA director? They're calling it a secret visit to Moscow. Now, I don't know how secret it is. I mean, what he has to do to get there, Ratcliffe, go on the plane. They take an entire motorcade there. It's a whole thing. And it's not like they turned the transponder off on the plane on the way there. So, but they weren't talking about this out loud. Why did he go to Moscow? Why did he visit the Kremlin? There's lots of conversations on that today. And I got to tell you, I don't like many of them. The plane was on the ground 8 hours. Again, they're making a big deal out of this. They call it the mystery visit. And one of the things that we've heard is that they've been counting our missiles. They've been counting how many we launched. And will they in fact, will Putin take this moment in time when we're dealing with Iran? Will they take this moment in time to deal with Ukraine in a more I don't know what this is all going to look like. But I will say the other option here is even more interesting, which is, as we see the what do they call it? Economic D-Day, as we see economic D-Day approaching with Iran and the United States, could the visit possibly be one where they say, hey, please do not help Iran at all. On the other side, you're going to be much better off if you do this, being able to sell your own oil. And of course, this could be a big moment for everyone as we get Iran and the Strait of Hormuz and all that ironed out. There's another story about Iran out there in the Strait of Hormuz as well, and it's along the same lines of what we've heard about the Strait and shipping, but this time it's Oman announcing, the foreign minister saying he's hopefully temporary shipping corridor through the Strait, and practical arrangements may be made to restore safe navigation, and announced soon in a post on X I think yesterday is when this happened. I am hopeful we will soon announce a temporary corridor for the Strait of Hormuz, practical arrangements to restore safe navigation. Future management of the strait and a permanent solution will follow in due course, as per Article 5 of the Islamabad Memorandum. That's the MOU. So that could be very good news, as long as it's not something along the lines of the effect of, well, we're gonna control it all. The Iranians putting a little bit of a fee on what's happening out there. At the same time, you have something very interesting happening right now. I mentioned this DSA, another Democrat socialist candidate out there. Yeah, he in fact, another big one she was in Oklahoma last night. They're starting Maisie, is it Maisie? Maisie Pickle said, by the way, her maiden name. Maisie. Maybe that's right. Out of Oklahoma. He's the Republican. He's the good guy. The one you got to watch out for is the one that is the socialist. And that candidate, by the way, winning in Oklahoma. The Newsmax story on this I saw yesterday was late last night. Kyla Jasmine Thomas. Kyla Jasmine Thomas. No, in Kyla. Nikayla or in Kyla? What is the deal with these names today? Nikayla Jasmine Thomas winning the Democrat runoff for U.S. Senate Tuesday, defeating Attorney Minister Jim Priest to advance to a difficult November matchup against Republican Kevin Hern. She's not. There's no way she's going to be able to pull that off. No, not in Oklahoma. But it is interesting because it shows that fight inside the Democrat Party. And by the way, Newsmax and Decision Desk HQ called the race for Thomas with the 93% of the vote counted. Thomas had 60.5% of the vote as compared to Priest 39.5%. That's incredible. Thomas is a 31-year-old nurse and Chickasaw Nation citizen from Ardmore. She becomes a Democrat nominee in a state that has not elected a Democrat to the U.S. Senate since David Boren won re-election in 1990. Again, not going to get elected, but it shows you the fight happening inside the Democrat Party as they have it's essentially been taken over by some of these folks, the Hassan Piker wing of the party. And by the way, that guy, they're the establishment, I'll just call it that, inside the Democratic Party, not happy about this. Not happy about this. I got some video I want to share with you on that coming up here in a second. Here she is. Here's Nikayla. Anyway.
It's NAT, and I'm here at Bobo's on the east side, and look at what it is at night. No one's ever been afraid of being on the east side at night because this is my stomping grounds.
That's who won for the Democrats. Is that right? This is her?
Where I be. Right here at Bobo's, I just got me a four.
Where she be up at Bobo's, y'all. She be up at Bobo's. The Democrats up in here at Bobo's, y'all.
Beef tender with fries and extra honey sauce, honey drizzle. Please don't play with me.
Please don't play with me. I'm running for Senate, y'all. I'm about to go to the swamp.
Senate candidate is out here.
This is who Democrats are voting for.
Yes, sir. What y'all know about Bobo's?
What y'all know about them Bobos? Come on now. I will say that does look good. That is like some sort of chicken finger thing, and it's got some sort of honey drizzle on it. Is that cornbread in the back or something? And some fresh fry, y'all.
Don't know about Bobo's.
Hey, what y'all know about it?
Play with me, don't play with me.
That's the Democrats, socialists from the great state of Oklahoma. She said, play with me, don't play with me. Come on now. Which one is it, Nikayla?
Don't play with me.
that's who they're voting for. That's the holy cow. This is incredible. Is this her victory speech last night? Oh my. Here's the victory speech from Nikayla, who apparently is the new Democrat nominee for Senate. Again, the Senate. There's supposed to be a little bit of a decorum. There's supposed to be a anyway, I this is this is a good one.
Okay? I'm just overexcited right now because we have built this from the ground up. No one else done this. The establishment didn't help us. The establishment tried to tear us down, but you know what we did? We kept our heads high and we remained onward. And so that's what we're going to do until November. We're going to remain onward and we're going to work for the Oklahomans because this is not about me. This is about we.
It's about we, y'all. Come on, man. Now, something, I don't know if you caught that. Something fell off of her. She's got all this jewelry on her. Something fell off. Like a bracelet or something? This is incredible. These are the folks Democrats are running right now. Incredible. I don't know. I don't think I've seen anything this crazy before. I don't think I've seen anything the likes of it's straight out of the what was that what was it? Was it Idiocracy? Was that the name of the movie? Did you ever see that? Idiocracy. Straight out of that movie. Basically where the idiots are running, where everybody's gone so dumb. I just, man, I'm telling you. The reason I cringed, and I don't look. I think most people in Oklahoma would see her, and it's you know, she's not serious, not a serious candidate. But at the same time, this is the quality of candidate they're putting out there.
Primary has come to an end. That was around 8 p.m. They called the race for Nikayla Jasmine Thomas, who won that race. Even though only 30% of the votes from each precinct had come in, she had already secured about 59% of those votes.
Remain onward, and we're going to work.
Here she
for
is.
the Oklahomans because this is not about me.
That's right, y'all.
About we.
Come on.
So that was some sound that you might have heard from the reaction that she had after they called that race. She was surrounded by loved ones, on the phone with a loved one as well, as I could only imagine. But she says, you know, this is a historic moment, as she might be the first Black Native woman to be nominated in 20 years since Connie Johnson.
Oh, it's historic, all right. Not for the reasons she thinks it is. It is historic indeed. And like I said, not in a good way. Now, here's what I want to do. I just want you to take a look at that, okay? And then I want you to see there's some other things out there. Hakeem Jeffries, not happy. He does not like the fact he has to go out there and defend this Hassan Piker character. Other Democrats are openly, even on CNN, saying they don't want to vote for Abdul El-Sayed, or they wouldn't vote for Abdul El-Sayed. Because again, you've got all of the crazy socialist side of things, but then you've got the comments and the people he surrounds himself. By the way, the Bible says, and I believe this to be true, you are the sum essentially of the five friends that you. This is not a Bible thing, but it is biblical. this quote. This is paraphrasing, but you're the sum of the five people. Show me your friends, I'll show you who you are, kind of thing. That's exactly what we're looking at here.
I know this is a hypothetical, but as obviously you're a lifelong Democrat, if you were a Michigan voter, how would you vote in the Senate race?
I'll just make it clear. There's no way I'm ever coming out for al-Sayed right now. And like until, this is a guy who has made it very clear his views toward, and has refused to back off his views toward Jewish Americans. And I hope he comes out and clarifies where he is. I also hope that he does the right thing and condemns Hassan Piker clearly and the language very clearly.
I know this is a hypothetical.
If you get it, we know it won't be real. We know if you do get him coming out and say, well, I disavow this, it's not going to be real. I mean, the guy is part of the campaign. He was there on election night. He was there celebrating with him. He's been there, part of the messaging of the whole thing.
There are going to be a lot of people who are already questioning Abdullah al-Sayed's sincerity on these issues.
This is Hassan Piker on his stream. By the way, here's a statement. I believe all Americans deserve the right to advocate for what they believe without fear of violence. This is particularly true for communities that have been intimidated for their beliefs in the past. My commitment to Jewish safety is the same as my commitment to the safety of my own daughters. Anti-Semitism is a scourge, and we need to address it in all its forms. That's his statement. By the way, Piker saying this is all strategic.
That will then turn around and say, he's moderating his position on Israel, all this stuff. I don't think he is. Okay. I will say this. I am literally the person that is being dangled. And I'm going to tell you once again, he's not moderating on his perspective on Israel or anything like that. Okay. His reaction to this has always been very good, which is, look, I deal with people that I don't fully agree with and don't fully subscribe to on a daily basis. This is politics. Politics is about addition, not subtraction, right? It's smart. It's the right way to deal with it and then deflect back to the issues because they are the ones who are engaging in the deflection. Okay? There are going to be a lot of people who are already
I'm telling you, these people are very, very dangerous. And I mean, you got a guy. I'm not saying he can't. It's very possible that he could get elected. It's very possible. I've seen I've seen the craziness. I've seen the insanity. And how this is all sort of taken on a life of its own. By the way, here's Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat minority leader over in the House. Here's what he's had to say about it.
On another important issue, Leader Jeffries, you issued a statement yesterday slamming what you called the malicious claim that American Jews are inviting violence against themselves as, quote, dangerous and anti-Semitic. Was that in reference to far-left influencer Hassan Piker and his recent very controversial comments?
Yes, those comments were dangerous, malicious, and anti-Semitic, and should not be tolerated by anyone in the public square. What we've seen is a startling rise of hate crimes all across the United States of America, but particularly in this moment, directed against our Jewish brothers and sisters. And everybody, regardless of ideological perspective, should be willing to denounce this rise of anti-Semitic rhetoric, hate crimes, and bigotry, and actually try to move us to a society where we embrace everyone.
Hakeem doesn't like having to answer these questions. He really doesn't like having to answer these questions. All right, I got to talk Trump real quick if I can, briefly, because what's happening right now, specifically with Canada, the trade war with Canada, is big. It is essentially, and I'll put it this way, the best way of understanding it. What we're watching play out is an attempt to take out Trump. That's all we're watching. It is a globalist attempt to take out Trump. Glenn handled this yesterday, and I think in a very, very powerful way. he put the nail right on the head with this, and I'll comment
So
too a
the
little bit.
talks have collapsed as of Friday, about midnight. 50% tariffs landed on about $20 billion of Canadian goods. We had a deal all week. We were working towards it. And at midnight Friday, Carney says no deal. Saturday morning, Mark Carney calls Donald Trump a miscalculation. By the afternoon, he had workshopped and he had a better word: war. You're at war when you get attacked. We got attacked. We are at war. This is Canada. Okay. Mark Carney is not a stupid guy. He's not. He ran the Bank of Canada. He ran the Bank of England, mainly into the ground, but he ran the Bank of England. He's the first foreigner to hold that job in over 300 years. He can do the arithmetic in his sleep. 72% of everything Canada sells abroad, it sells to us. 72%. 85% of their crude oil comes down here because the refineries on our Gulf Coast are built to crack the heavy sour crude that Alberta scrapes out of the sand, and there's nobody else on earth who wants that much of it. They're aluminum smelters. They've got aluminum, they've got steel out the wazoo, but they can't make it into anything. Their smelters run on Quebec Hydro, and they ship it south. You can't win a trade war with the United States. He knows he cannot win a trade war with the United States. So why start one? Why? The answer is he's not fighting the tariffs. Just as I have told you, with everyone on earth right now, they are fighting the calendar. A currency strategist at Corpay, not a political guy, he's a market guy, he said on Monday, Carney appears to be betting that the November midterms will blunt the tariff drive and open the door to a better deal. That's the whole strategy here. Make sure Congress doesn't go to the Republicans. Absorb the hit for 10 weeks. Let American grocery bills and American layoffs do all the negotiation for you. Deal with the next Congress instead of the President of the United States. That's not a trade war. That's a campaign.
It is. It goes deeper. I encourage you. I'll put this up, and I actually shared it on X already at Mr. Justin Barkley. But I encourage you to go out and listen to it because you're going to hear Canada, who they're working with, what this is all about. In fact, it has a lot to do with
China.
It has a lot to do with their globalist agenda and defeating President Trump, who's the only one that's been willing and able to actually stand up to it all. In fact, I'll give you a little bit more of it coming up in just a minute. But first, I want to bring you up to speed on what's going on in the state and beyond with the latest from the Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Wednesday, August 26th. I'm Robin Poffman. Michigan U.S. Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed thinks our state should ditch reliable fossil fuels for windmills in Lake Michigan. El-Sayed, a guest on Jesse Waters' Primetime on Fox News.
But I don't want windmills in Lake Michigan.
So you're absolutely opposed to that?
Yeah, I don't want to put windmills in Lake Michigan, do you?
Windmills.
I don't think the people in Michigan want that, Abdul.
In other news, while Secretary of State Democrat Jocelyn Benson works to convince voters here in Michigan that she's not beholden to data center developers, documents on a widely despised development in Saline Township is undermining that narrative. Emails obtained by independent journalist Anna Hoffman through a public information request show Benson's husband personally delivered the application to rezone close to 600 acres in Saline Township back in July of 2025. For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Oh, that's interesting because she's out there saying that that her husband had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to do with this data center fight that's at the center of, in fact, lots of Democrats not happy about these either. It's at the center of a lot of the conversation will be happening here in this election this year. That's fascinating. Get the FOIA request and all. As a matter of fact, I've seen it. It is It's fascinating. The actual rundown, you see his signature on everything. It's pretty powerful stuff. It's pretty powerful stuff. There's no denying it at this point. You can't. You just can't say, well, wait a minute. I don't know. My husband doesn't work for that company when you have the actual FOIA request out there right now. By the way, Anna Hoffman, you could follow her over on X with this. She's got, I think she's Shoes On, Please. That's the account. And from what I saw, she posted you can see the paperwork, you'll see the email, and along with it, you'll actually see the signature on the thing that shows, again, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he was at the front and center on all of it now. So, interesting stuff. You're paying attention, and it all. By the way, all of this connects. All of the dots connect right on back.
And let me tell you, he staffed it like a campaign. You know that he hired in February a woman named Maya Johnson. He hired her right into the Prime Minister's office. Her title in the Canadian government directory was Senior Advisor to the United States Stakeholder Strategy. Where have I heard stakeholder before?
Talking about Carney and
Whose
Canada.
philosophy is, I remember. That's the World Economic Forum. That's the global reset. That is the globalists all over the world wanting to make sure that you don't have freedom anymore, that you are a slave to the globalist corporation's slave state. Okay? Stakeholder strategy? Wow, that's not trade. That's not commerce. That's stakeholder. That is the Great Reset. Now, who is this woman? She's an American. She's a Democratic operative with campaign work behind her for Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and for Kamala Harris. So wait, he's hiring somebody who worked on the campaign of all the people that Donald Trump has run against? In July, he promoted her to Chief Operating Officer of the Prime Minister's office. That position has never even existed in Canadian history, and it's now being run by an American? The person now running the daily machinery of the Canadian government, advising the Prime Minister on how to handle Donald Trump, spent her career trying to beat Donald Trump. That's not somebody you hire to negotiate with the president.
So let me tell you why all this matters and how it ties in. So essentially what they're claiming they're upset about Canada was that there was something in the deal that said if they went out and did another third party, if they did another a deal with someone else, that America, if we signed this deal together, that we would have the right to tell them no or to control what other deals that they could do. And that's not true. That's not the case. What was in there was more along the lines of being able to veto or being able to walk away if Canada did a deal with China. Why is that important? Because we see so much of this what we're trying to do right now with America. China and Canada are the only two countries, by the way. China.
Let's say China. 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 China.
The only two countries that have come at us with these retaliatory practices. Makes you wonder. I saw somebody post in the chat, China. It makes you wonder. It really does. Like, okay, who really is our neighbor to the north? They're in lockstep. Justin Trudeau set that up a while back. That's what we're watching. There is this globalist, and again, Donald Trump's the only one, the president's the only one that stood up to that. That's what they're fighting. So what they're betting on is a pressure from this trade fight, from this, as they call it, trade war, will impact us enough. You'll see people lose jobs. You'll see the economy tumble between now and the election. That's Glenn making the point about the clock ticking out. Between now and then, And what you'll actually see play out is then, because it's so bad that Trump will lose the House and possibly even the Senate during all of this, and thus again they would take his by the way, Iran's doing the same thing. Everyone's trying to run out the clock, not only between now and the midterms, hoping that they can take any sort of effectiveness out of his hands, but also knowing that after this, they've only got 2 years of this guy left. They're hoping they can outlast him before he's able to get the job done.
You hire that person to destroy the president and find a way to get around him. Now, he's already told us what he's going to do. I know. Jason is going to be doing a lot on this with the insiders today, because he's fed up with Mark Carney, and he's got all the stats and all the fact and figures. I'm not going to have time to get into all of it, but behind the scenes today, if you're a Torch insider, you're going to get all of that information. Okay. In January at Davos, Carney gave a speech arguing what has happened with the world and the world order is not a transition, but a rupture. And I have to tell you, it is. Donald Trump is resetting the entire world, and the globalist powers do not like that. The great powers, he said, are using trade as a weapon and finance as a leash, and that the middle-sized nations of the world have to combine against it. His line was, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. He got a standing ovation, and in Davos, that doesn't happen, okay? So the tariff fight is not about lumber or gasoline or oil or aluminum or anything else. It is the opening engagement in a much older project to hold the global economic system together the way they have made it since 1945, and the way that it benefits all the elites in the world, until the Americans elect somebody who wants that back.
That is what we're up against. And I think most people, the question is, how do you even explain that to people? How do you even explain the seriousness of, especially as people are in pain? A lot of them are in pain because of what the Biden administration did. How do you explain that to people? How do you walk that through? Here's the president on with Glenn this morning talking.
They are one of the worst countries in the world to deal with.
Hang on, let me. What happened? We got to turn that way back. The speed is way up.
They are one of.
This is talking about Canada, by the way, one of the worst countries to deal with.
The worst countries in the world to deal with. And this has gone on for many years.
Wait. Can we say this? I love Canadians and Canada. Correct. I do not like their administration.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right? The administration and the previous administration too is terrible.
Yes.
But they have taken advantage of the United States for many decades. Actually, they charge tariffs that are unbelievable, like on milk, 400%, and on like. And I just said, we're taking them on. And I took them on at the beginning, but we had so many other things to do because the country was a mess. But I said, we're going to take them on. We're going to stop it. And you saw the Lake Ontario. People thought I was kidding. Maybe I wasn't, because the last one you saw was the Gulf of Mexico, is Gulf of America.
I know.
So now we have a Gulf and we have a lake, okay? It's very simple. But look, I don't want to go into great detail because it's maybe boring to people, but to me it's not boring. They charge tariffs. They take advantage of us as though they were a state, and they're not a state. And they've taken our car industry, and they've taken our agriculture industry.
Yeah.
The farmers can't sell anything in there because the tariffs are so enormous, and yet they want to sell in us without any tariffs. So I had a deal. That was a pretty good deal. Quite good, because they're afraid that I won't do any business. In other words, we won't trade. They don't have anything that we have to have. Okay, we can get by. I mean, there are a couple of things that would make it a little inconvenient, but we could get them elsewhere. And it's time to teach Canada you can't do this anymore. We lose $60 billion, and really more than that, $60 billion a year with Canada.
Mr. President,
we can't do that.
By the way, I can't wait to see what he was going to say there. I'm sure it's going to be great. the flip side of this, and some Canadians get it, by the way, some of the Canadians understand this. The flip side is that this could be very, very bad for Canada in ways that that you just can't imagine. And in other words, because of how much they depend on us, Carney could, in fact, end up crashing Canada's economy, the 51st state. All right, that being said, we covered some of the things I wanted to get to. Don't forget today, we got to talk with our good friend, Maha Missy. She's got Maha updates for so much is happening. You just heard about the Canadian trade fight and the food and the farmers and what they're dealing with. In fact, we've got the latest on some of these back and forth with the farmers and food we've been dealing with. Prices of things. People are really concerned right now with one of these, which is beef. There's a new program that, again, isn't so new. It's just a new piece of it, but it's I think an opportunity for us to make a point this morning as we do. Welcome into our good friend Maha Missy. Welcome, Maha Missy. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm healthy. How are you? I'm great.
Amen. Got the glow going. I love it.
Got
because
it.
you know, this is one of the things that I think we probably don't get a chance to talk about as much as we like to, but we do have some big Maha wins. I've got RFK Jr. in a big story today. We got some tragic news we'll talk about as well, but I want to start, if I can, with this food piece. And I don't know if you've seen this, but the tariffs and the taxes coming in that we would pay or folks would pay from importing beef. The Trump administration has gone out and said, we're going to take those away. Why? In an effort to make things more expensive or more affordable and less expensive. You got to understand part of the background on this with beef and why it is. Our cattle and the amount that we've had, the herd has been the lowest over the last several years. It's been in decades. A lot of that is because of the Biden administration, what they've done to farmers. Meat packing plants and processors are packing up. They're saying we're closing because it costs us too much money. We're not making any. We're losing money on this stuff. And so now people are asking the question, wait a minute. Are they saying because this meat that's coming in from places like Mexico or Brazil or wherever it's coming from, they go, wait a minute, there's meat coming in here and they're not going to tell us where it's coming from? And so I see people freaking out. But here's the truth. That meat has been coming here for a long time, and many people don't know. I thought this is an opportunity for you and I to talk about knowing where your food comes from and the best place to source it and get it, particularly when it comes from meat, because that beef, you don't know what they're doing in some of those places. It can get a little dicey.
Yeah, where there's no government parameters in other countries. Yeah, you don't know what you're eating, and it comes back to why. I mean, the one simple question I have, and I asked myself this a few months ago, is like, why don't I go to farmers markets? You know, why am I not going and buying my beef from somebody who has probably been in the business for a long time? A lot of times this is generational. And so these people that's what they do for a living. They're growing cattle and beef and chicken and all the other produce the meat that we would like, and they're doing it with no chemicals or injections. And so you got these people that work all week and then they go out on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Wednesday to sell what they're trying to give the public. Why are we even wondering where our food comes from if we can just go and shop for it locally at a farmer's market? And the other I just was talking to one of the ladies that works in our office. Her husband is a manager of a local grocery store here in town, and she was talking about theft. And I go, well, what are people stealing in the grocery stores? She's like, steak. She goes, Missy, one of the reasons she said that they think that the prices of beef has gone up. She goes, they just arrested a woman. She had stolen $1,000 of steak. And I'm like, how are they stealing steak? She goes, big bags. And I'm like, that's another dilemma.
Yeah.
It's like $1,000, but I guess if the steaks are I don't know. I don't know that. But I mean, but she said it's happening all over the place. So that theft. And then again, why not go to the farmer's market? I guess I don't know. Is it just because it's not convenient? I mean,
Not convenient. It's out of the frame of what people do on a daily basis. You know, like we've been told to go to the store and get everything, but hey, our grandmother, our grandfather, you know, all the folks back in the day, boy, they used to make their own. They had relationships with farmers. They would go to the farmers market and get this stuff if they needed to, or wherever they would go. A lot of times, just go down the road to person they knew. We've gotten so far, I think, removed from what way things should be.
Yeah,
we completely
convenience.
lost track of it.
That good old word called convenience. You look up. I mean, you know how they say it's like if you're out in the body of water like Lake Michigan and you're waiting around, and then about 15 minutes you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, my beach chair is way down there. How did I get here? That's kind of where I even have been, you know, looking at my life and how I've been convenient. I mean, DoorDash. I mean, shoot, I don't even have to go pick up my food anymore because I can just DoorDash it. And then, you know, sometimes DoorDash only has.
By the way, that's why it's so expensive too. There was a whole argument online about people in burritos a couple of weeks back, and they're talking about how burritos shouldn't be $20. Well, you first of all, the things that we feel like we have to survive now are crazy. There's a bit of that. Like we feel like we have to have that burrito and we have to have it delivered to us, but we can make food at home. It's probably better off when we make our food at home. Number one,
right?
It's going to be cheaper. But the other thing is this whole convenience. We're being taxed through the for convenience on things that we just don't need. I don't know. Somehow these companies, these corporations have convinced us and younger generations that these are things you have to have. Here's the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, talking about what they're dealing with right now.
First, it's important to say I don't know that there's been a president more pro-farmer and pro-rancher, certainly in our lifetimes, than President Trump. When you look at everything, whether it was $250 million investment in the One Big Beautiful Bill coming from the White House, opening up 5 million acres of grazing land, the most pro-biofuel president on record, opening up the domestic markets, the 20 new trade deals around the world, cutting the agricultural trade deficit from $50 billion under Joe Biden to half of that in just over a year, and putting agriculture, the president has put ag at the top of every single trade negotiation alongside Secretaries Bessent, Lutnick, and Ambassador Greer. So I think it's important to level set there. The president is the champion of all Americans, ranchers, farmers, of course, they are my world, and I'm very focused on that. But the conversations I've had with him is that, you know, we inherited an impossible situation. We inherited the lowest herd on record, cattle herd. The beef that we're eating today were cattle that were born under the Biden administration. Like this is not eggs, right? You can't hatch a chicken and have them laying eggs in a couple months. It takes years to rebuild the herd. The president made the decision that for a short 90 days, there's a lot of ground beef. This is just ground beef. There's a lot of ground beef that's sitting in other countries that would potentially help serve Americans, especially lower income Americans who really lean into the lean ground beef. And so this is a very short term fix from the president's perspective that he believed necessary to get lower cost beef onto American plates. When you look at the fact that we're eating more beef than ever before, when you look at our programs like Harvest to Hallways, you know, big part of that is ground beef and it is getting protein onto these school lunch plates. There has never been a higher demand for beef and protein than there is today.
You know, I think that's probably true too. We probably eat a lot more beef than what we used to.
Sure.
But,
yeah. It's something what she's saying. And again, because I think, like we mentioned earlier, people are like, where is my beef coming from? Well, one thing that we do know is that other countries don't allow so many chemicals. 10,000 chemicals, you know, are allowed into our soil, our water, our air, our skin products. Wow. Other countries have not allowed those 10,000 chemicals into their countries. So perhaps their beef is going to be eating from grass that didn't have crap sprayed on it.
That's a great point.
Huge thing.
Yeah.
because most people don't. I mean, for years and years, you know, being in the holistic model for 28 years now, I've run in. We've in the chiropractic realm, we helped a lot of farmers, and this was probably about 20 years ago. There were farmers that were possibly going to go bankrupt because the bank would not loan them any money, because farmers are always getting money. They are getting loans and then they pay the loans off. It's just like this cycle thing. Well, anyways, they couldn't get the loans because they refused to spray Monsanto on their crops.
Yeah.
And so what happened is, because they got bullied, and a lot of these were like holdouts. I mean, they were holding out. And so they need loans. If they don't get loans, they can't go buy the stuff to plant. And I mean, what a farmer's life is. And so what would happen is a lot of them buckled and end up bending the knee so they could get their funding, because as they looked out at all their neighbors were already spraying their fields with the stuff that they wanted to avoid on theirs, but the wind comes. And so their crops were already being impacted by it. So the lobbyists, America, we have been under attack in our food supply for so long.
Yeah.
We're just now waking up and looking around and like, wow, our beach chair is in the next city. I mean, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And so it's like, whoo, take a breath and just realize that Trump is churning it all around. And like she said, sometimes things take decades. You can't turn, if anyone knows, like, have been on a boat before, you can turn a pontoon boat around really fast if you forgot something back home. But if you're out on a big old cruise ship, and you forgot something, it takes a hot minute for that cruise ship to pivot and turn around and go back, you know? And so that's where we are. And thank God, the chemicals, I mean, Trump is really doing something to avoid the chemicals going on the crops. They're looking at high-tech technology to kill things off using frequencies and good things that can naturally help our food supply not have crap on it. Because I'm telling you, just because we had a lot of beef a few years ago, the beef we were eating, it's been modified. It's so frustrating, because of what I do on a daily basis. I see the destruction.
Do you remember where they were talking about injecting the beef with the jab?
Sure.
Which brings me to the next and it's a very sad piece, but this is one of the things that even people that said, you know, I'm not going to take that. I don't necessarily want, you know, whatever that is. I don't know what's going on in there. And some of us do know what's going on. They don't want any part of it.
Right.
Well, they said, well, you know what we're going to do? We have the ability now to put this in the food. And they were thinking about doing it to cattle, etc. They had that whole conversation. I bring that up to show you the sad news. And I'll just put these two together. Dolly Parton, country music icon, dies at 80. We had heard a little bit back and forth. Her husband died, and then eventually she died not too long after him. And I'm not gonna go into my, you know, putting too many of the dots together. But I'll just say this, and I think it's important to note. Dolly, we do know cause of death now. Apparently she had cancer. And unfortunately it was something, I guess she had been sick, but she had been describing over the last year or so, like new things, like symptoms she had and what was going on with her. And you probably heard some of this too, but she had issues with her digestive system. She had all kinds of stuff she was dealing with. But one thing that we didn't know she had this cancer that she eventually ended up passing from in a hospital in Nashville there. Now, that being said, let's roll back the footage back to 2021, because Dolly in 2021, I forgot all about this.
Oh, yeah.
But in 2021, she came out and at Vanderbilt, I think this is the hospital she died at.
Yeah.
With this announcement.
Well, hey, it's me. I'm finally going to get my vaccine. I'm so excited. I've been waiting a while. I'm old enough to get it, and I'm smart enough to get it. So I'm very happy that I'm going to get my Moderna shot today. And I wanted to tell everybody, I think you should get out there and do it too. I even changed one of my songs to fit the occasion. It goes, vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Because once you're dead, then that's a bit too late. So I just want to say to all of you cowards out there, don't be such a chicken squat. Get out there and get shot. Well, hey.
First of all, I see that and I just hate to think about, she's calling people cowards and telling people to go get the shot. And now we know what we know about some of the issues and cancers and things that came out of this shot and the results of it.
Right.
And I don't know that it caused this in her.
Right.
But it is certainly it is certainly concerning.
Yeah.
To see this happen after this this little piece that she did back in 2021.
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings, and one thing is thoughts. Is I'm like, did Moderna need $1 million from her? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Like,
she was a part of that, right?
She's a part of it. And again, using her influence. I love Dolly Parton. Grew up, my grandma, mama, and papa,
Right.
they're Southern hillbillies, like love Dolly, love Green Acres, love all of that culture, right? I'm from it. But she's not my doctor. She doesn't understand drug interaction. She doesn't understand chemical warfare on the inside of the body. She doesn't understand quantum biology and what happens when you inject something into this flawless design right here. And what are the outcomes of it? Well, we've lived, and many of us are watching people die left and right these days. And Dolly, we don't know what caused the cancer, but I think we can put 2 and 2 together and say that I'm sure her immune system got lowered because of the injection. And when the immune system gets lowered, what happens? Opportunistic, you create an opportunistic environment for the free radicals to go and do what they are designed to naturally do, which is to destroy the body.
I got to ask you, because I know people maybe are listening and maybe even they took the shot, because here's something that I don't know the full story behind what maybe she felt like this is the thing she had to do, or she was really helping out. This is a weird time, remember,
Sure.
again,
Sure.
There was a tremendous amount of psychological warfare happening at that moment, spiritual as well, but
right.
I just, my question is, if somebody did those things, and there are several different things that we've heard since, but what's the recommendation? Because, the immune system, your body can heal. It can be brought back on track. And I know
Absolutely.
you do that on a daily basis with some of the things that
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The body, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Our body knows how to heal itself. And but people are like, how does it heal itself? Well, for starters, you have to stop putting gasoline on an already burning flame. And gasoline, if someone has gotten the COVID vaccine, what I would recommend, and what I recommend to people all the time, is we have to build your immune system up. And how do we do that? Well, again, we've drifted so far away from our beach chair that, we just have to take a pause and things that we've talked about, like not using the bad oils anymore, like really diving in and using butter, using olive oil. Avoid sugar at all costs. Start using something called stevia. Stevia is a natural grown sugar. And if anyone has ChatGPT or AI and you're like, how do I get started? Like build me a menu of only foods that would be using butter, olive oil, stevia as a sugar. Show me how to make some cookies in a natural way. We have to go back to how grandma used to do it. We cannot, because we won't be old enough to be grandmas if we don't go back to how our grandmas and our great grandmas used to do life. And so by cutting out the oils, the bad oils, cutting out the bad sugars, and then literally, when your body, getting good sleep, I mean, getting good sleep, using good pink salt for hydration. And I mean, if you start to like and drink water, most people aren't drinking water. Stop drinking, the energy drinks. I mean, the body needs a chance to breathe and recalibrate. It can recalibrate, but you need to give it, time and space and feed it the right things. And again, those chemicals, your food, if you're eating breakfast food, I mean, I would challenge everybody to not eat breakfast. Unless you're hypoglycemic, that's another story. Maybe a couple pieces of an orange in the morning in case you like dip. But if we can get people going into like an intermittent fast, which means don't eat breakfast, have coffee, have your tea, but breakfast is breaking the fast. As you ate your last meal the night before and you go to sleep, your body's healing and repairing, and then you wake up the next day, we're eating break fast. We're breaking the fast. Don't break the fast. Stretch it out and go until 11 or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and there you go. And your body had more time to heal and repair, because when we eat food first thing in the morning, your body stops healing and repairing and goes into breaking down what you just fed it.
I love that, because what you're saying, by the way, I've been doing it for a long time now, and I love the results that I've been getting.
Here.
Yeah, it makes me still feel so much better. By the way, tell us about this, because as we mentioned, she's doing this on a daily basis for folks, and we just got another great result here from one of the listeners of this very program.
This is one of yours.
Missy, My True Health Solutions, healthwithjustin.com. You can call him today if you want to find out more. Healthwithjustin.com, 269-964-4044. But her results are incredible.
Yeah, this is Cheryl. She came in, I did her consultation April 9th. And anyway, so I talked to her. I love talking to your listeners. They're so much fun. But anyways, when I talked to her on the phone, I'm like, how long has, your weight been a problem? And she's one that has been her whole life. Her whole life, she has struggled to lose weight. And the typical person that has struggled for a long time has typically tried 20 things to lose weight. And so when we did the consult, I explained how we work, because we are a customized solution to your unique problem going on the inside of the body.
That's right.
She's in the holistic realm. So she said that when she heard me talk one day, I was mentioning frequencies, it resonated with her. So she called, and here's the results. The consult was April 9th. She probably started about 2 weeks later. And here we are, just a few weeks down the road. I think her results are she lost 36 pounds. I can't remember what the final results were. Wow. But here she is, inches, shrinking. She no longer, she used to wake up every night, she said, at 3 o'clock in the morning and was starving. And she was worried, because her cortisol levels her body was in fight or flight. Yeah. Wake up at 3 o'clock, starving, wants to eat, and then you wake up tired, and the vicious cycle over and over again. So she was wondering, is that going to stop? It sure did. Wow. Because we didn't fix the problem. Her body fixed the problem. We had to scan her body to find out what's wrong. The metabolism is linked to people don't understand how the metabolism works, what controls it. Can it be turned on? Can it be turned off? Can it start again? The answer is, yeah, it can be started again. Yeah. We just have to look inside your body using frequencies, using a scan to find out what's wrong, fix the problem, and voila, the body warns it. There she is, healed and repaired. I mean, all of her aches, pains, woes, all the different symptoms that she had going on, no longer. And you eat real food while you're doing it. And then what we've done, she's locked in. Her body now knows how to maintain her new weight with no problem. Because and people are like, how is that possible? Well, when you jump started your car the other day, did you think there was a miracle that it started running again? No. That's it. It's that simple. We got to jump start that body, get it running again, burn some fat, get off some medications, get your sleep back, get your joint pain gone, get your digestive system back on track. If you're bloated, have all the diarrhea, constipation, whatever it is that is going on in your belly of yours, your body's going to tell us what's wrong and turn it back on. I just scanned 2 more of your listeners yesterday, and boy, oh boy, I cannot wait in another 40 days to talk about them, because what both of them Husband has extremely high A1C, and he doesn't even have that much weight to lose, but his A1C was through the roof. His body scan showed us exactly why his A1C is through the roof. The signals in his glucagon signals weren't working. There are all these certain pathways that control the insulin centers of the body that weren't turned on, frequencies, right? That we need to turn them on. So anyway, so sure enough, I mean, I already know what the outcome's going to be because I've been doing this for 14 years. The wife struggled ever since like menopause. She can't, I mean, the wheels fall off the bus with her body. And you can just tell when people, the scans can tell us exactly how stressed out the person is on the inside, not here, but inside. And so anyway, so I mean, she got choked up a couple times on, when I was going through her report, because you're finally being validated. Your body scan is going to show us what the heck is going on that's causing all your symptoms. Even if you don't need to lose weight and you have these symptoms that you can't get to the root of, and you've gone to this doctor, that doctor, this doctor. I mean, all these different doctors that aren't looking at your body as a whole anymore. That was the general practitioners' days. Those days are gone. Now we're into specialists. So no one's looking at your body as a whole, and we do. We look at your body as a whole and find out what it is. And my gosh, I get so excited when I talk about it. Sorry.
I gotta ask this, by the way. Mark says, "Sorry, Missy, I can't start my day without breakfast."
Okay.
Well, Mark, you weigh 150 pounds, so you probably don't. You don't have to follow.
No.
But if you're listening and you're thinking, "Well, wait a minute, I have to have my breakfast every day," let me just tell you this. Let me assure you. Don't let that stop him from talking to Missy, because they have a little bit of a secret, a little bit of a trick that helps you get going.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, once you try it, you'll never go back. And it's one of the most convenient things for me, because I don't even think about food until like noon today. And we just started this new program. I'm on from noon to today. It'll be noon to 2, but noon to 3 will be my schedule. I don't have anything before I go in, and I'm not hungry yet, so I'm not even in until like 2 anyway.
Right.
It's possible. Now I've got a little bit more fuel than Mark might have, already on board.
A little bit more buffet going on over there.
But the thing is, by the way, breakfast is what you said. Breaking the fast is all it means. You can eat whatever. Now there are some better things to eat than not, but If you want to do this, Barb says, "Justin, please send her contact info. I want a body scan." All right, I'll put it in the chat here for folks so you can have it. And again, I'm just telling you, you're gonna feel amazing. We're going to breakfast. We had breakfast for dinner last night, so we had eggs.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, it's like you don't have. I mean, if that was more for the people that maybe got the COVID vaccine and they're trying to figure out, how do I boost up my immune system? That was more for that. But yeah, I understand. I don't want to really ruin anyone's breakfast meals, especially if you don't need to lose weight. I get that. I mean, trust me. I'm from Battle Creek, Michigan, home of breakfast.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm right here. Yeah, and the thing is too is like listening. Like if you have, sleep apnea, people are getting off their sleep apnea machines. And the reason why is because the body has been so stressed out from within that you've needed the sleep apnea. When the body comes back into homeostasis and those systems are turned back on, thanks to Nikola Tesla kind of style stuff here. What we see, I've seen people get off of cancer treatments. I've seen people get off of thyroid medication that they've been on for a long time. Type 2 diabetes does not stand a chance with us. If you've been a type 2, you're in your 70s and you've been type 2 for 40 years, call me. You don't need to take that metformin we'll explain how, and then your doctor will pull it off of you. High blood pressure. Oh, sorry, Justin. I mean, it just is like, I get so fired up, especially when you see the results. I mean, because I just got on seeing Cheryl's results this morning. I'm like, let me send that on over to Justin.
Well, there's another guy, and I think his name is Scott. I don't remember. It's not coming to me right. Is it Scott? He lost 25 pounds or something like that, just in a matter, or 20 pounds, like in a matter of just
4 days. 4 days.
And now he had a little bit more to go, kind
Oh.
of like me, but I did too. The first time I did this, I dropped 17 pounds in the first week. And the reason is your body is hanging on to so much inflammation. It's letting all of this go. You don't realize just how in that first week alone, what you are doing for your body and how much life you are adding back into not just your days that you have now, but days down the road because of this.
I tell like the last lady that every once in a while I'll see someone scan, because when you scan the body after 25 minutes after the body scan's done, we email you the report, so we see your results right then and there. And when I was going through this lady's report last night, I'm like, okay, I go, let's just pretend your body was a car. I go, that car of yours, the wheels are missing, there's no gas in the tank, the windshields are blown out, and I'm like, then turn signals don't even work. I go, but that's a car, but this is your body. We're so resilient. Your body keeps pushing forward and going because it's got all these. So we're gonna.
Do me a favor, folks. Drop your results in the chat wherever you're chatting right now, because I see a few other folks who have done this as well. I think.
That one guy that lost 25 pounds, he was freaking out. He did it in 40 days. Now I'm telling you,
That's awesome.
he did it 4 days. He did it in the first 4 days. But the thing is, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. So that is just going to come flying off, the inflammation flying off, just like you said. And then body fat starts to get eaten, because your metabolism should naturally eat body fat. That should be doing that for you every day. That's why Justin's not hungry.
Jessica says she'll be in Battle Creek Friday. She wants to stop by and see. Yeah, you will love Jesse. You'll love. By the way, Jesse's awesome. You will love her, Missy, and Jesse.
Well, I'm not open on Fridays. Give her my cell phone number now. Maybe I can meet her.
I'll connect you guys, because here's the thing: you don't have to go to Battle Creek. Just so you know, we got people watching us all over the country, and they do connect with her and Charity and the team.
Yeah.
They connect virtually to get this done. So I've been to Missy's office once. And I didn't even have to go, but I just went because we did it in person. It was good to get to know each other and all that. But you don't have to do that. They can do it in person. So I want you to drop your results, because I think it was yesterday or the other day, I saw Joanne drop it. She dropped it. I think it was like 15, 20 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Sharon has said she's dropped, I think, 15 pounds. Haven't sent in my after pics yet, she said. But you know what she said? This is cool. I don't have joint pain any longer, and increased energy too. Not reaching for that 2 o'clock coffee anymore. These are things that you hear all the time. Mike lost 40 pounds. I knew you were there, Mike. That's right. Mike lost.
I feel like we need to balloons. Like, I feel like we're on The Price is Right.
41 pounds in 40 days. That's awesome.
The typical male will lose 35 to 50 pounds in 40 days. And you got to remember, your body's eating fat. It's not eating muscle. It's not eating bone. It's not drinking your water. Yeah. So you shrink, you're just inches fall off. Women, typical woman loses 20 to 30 pounds in about 40 days, which looks like 2 to 3 pant sizes, because the inches are going off.
It's incredible, folks. You just reach out. I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but reach out, because I think you're just going to absolutely love how good you can feel. Now's the best time to do this. I know you've got something special coming because of Labor Day, and I think summer's wrapping up, and for me, like, I'm in a mode where I'm getting really serious. I'm thinking like, oh, this is the best time for me, because I can get focused before we get into super like crazy fall and Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. Imagine going into the holidays and actually being healthy. You'll be set up so much better with the plan of how to actually survive, get through, and thrive. It's going to be.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, have a consult. On the consultation, we are not taking any money. So there's no pressure. You're getting information. If you want to go forward and move forward, then we book your scan. We book the scan. We got to ship you our little device that scans your body. We ship that to you. We do your scan, and then we ship you everything that you're going to need for your body to restore its metabolism. And then you start after Labor Day. So have a consult, get the scan plan, so that way you have all your protocols to be able to start after Labor Day. Put that Mel Gibson Braveheart blue war paint face on. Go after your health.
Yeah.
I mean, do it while everybody's like hustling and bustling. So that way, by the time Thanksgiving or even Halloween comes around, people are going to be like, who are you? What happened? Because I think I just saw you when you dropped the kids off, and that's what's going on with people all the time. People like our friend Trucker Randy. Half the time people are going like, your voice sounds familiar, but that can't be you because you lost 80 pounds. I mean, he looks as good as he did, as a 67-year-old man. Yeah. I mean, your body can heal and repair itself. And right there, future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. That's Albert Einstein saying this.
That's incredible.
This stuff has been hidden. This has been suppressed technology. And I'm telling you, I'm grateful and thankful that, for your platform, Justin, and your influence that you have. I mean, you're changing lives. I mean, you allow me to come on here and share my opinions with a lot of things and, just really give people hope.
Coffee in the morning is definitely part of it, and also part of the help. I think, Sean, I love it. Mike has dropped. So Mike dropped 41 pounds himself. He went down 2 pant sizes.
There you go.
And down from a 2X shirts to a 1X. And Mike's wife dropped 31 pounds.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm saying. Women are just like, I just had a lady in Canada. In 40 days, she lost 30 pounds of stored fat because you can tell it's stored fat because of the scale we make you get. We have you guys get a $30 scale off of Amazon that's going to show you weight, fat percentage, and hydration. So you can actually see the amount of pounds of fat that keeps flying off your body. And it's wherever you're keeping the stored fat at. I mean, some women might have it only in their thighs and they got skinny arms. Well, there's no fat there, so you're not going to lose weight up there. There's no fat. It'd be all in your thighs, or maybe wherever that fat is, that's where the fat comes off.
Jesse, before you run out and get the shot, to the doctor once you're on the shot, I would talk to Missy first, because I'm gonna guess that a lot of people are going to that, trying that.
Please call me. I'll go over in detail exactly the diabolical genius and diabolical plan that they have with that shot. I mean, we talked about it before.
I do have some good news as folks are waking up, and RFK here talking about some of the things actually that deals with what we're seeing cause problems in our food. Etc. This is good news.
Put a larger investment into regenerative farming than any president in history. He had 5 of the top regenerative farmers in the country come to his office, and we talked about how do we transition off of glyphosate and other chemicals toward a more sustainable kind of agriculture.
Regenerative farming. I know it's kind of hard to hear in that clip. He's kind of hard to hear in general, but this is so powerful. It's the way that they are focusing, and the farmers coming in to showing how they're able to do all the farming they do without the glyphosate and the things that are making the food so dangerous.
Yeah. This is part of that, in my opinion. This is that big cruise ship that's being turned around. and this is part of it, because, again, what most people don't know is that a lot of farmers were incentivized to only grow one crop and to spray that crop with chemical. And what they're looking at is, corporate lobbyists at their finest. But what they're now looking at is how to focus on healthy soil, how to have healthy soil. I mean, remember the Bible talked about on the 7th year to let the land sit.
Right.
There's a reason why, because there's something magical that's happening while the ground is sitting and recalibrating.
Yeah,
it's a Sabbath. So we were supposed to prepare, because it wouldn't be convenient to not grow food. And so they had to prepare and let the soil sit. Well, the soil hasn't been sitting like that. I mean, and we have pigeonholed our farmers into only being able to grow one crop at a time and spray that crop. Yeah. But then what they're looking at, is like, how can they build crops together? I mean, how can they think outside the box and actually, one of the things that like being able to go after, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but they have lasers that they can now, I don't know how to call it a laser, but like frequency technology that can now go over and zap the bad organisms that's on the crops. Instead of spraying stuff, you're going to actually zap it.
I've seen that. It's a laser that goes over the field like a robot kind of thing.
Sure thing, because how we know this can work is thanks to Dr. Royal Rife. Dr. Royal Rife was that man that he loved Nikola Tesla. Dr. Rife created a frequency machine to turn off the cancer. Every single cell has a frequency coming off of it, and it's electrical. And since we know what electrical can be turned on or off, Dr. Rife was the guy that showed if we have this cancer cell with a frequency at this first degree, can we send the opposite frequency into the cancer cell, canceling it? And he canceled cancer. So if you can cancel cancer, you can cancel organisms and all the junk that is, there you go, that is destroying the crops. Here's another one. Noise canceling headphones. People have them. They don't really know how they're working. Noise canceling headphones are canceling the sound vibrations of the room that you're sitting in. So that way, if it cancels a noise, you have noise canceling headphones. We need to cancel the junk that's growing over here on our crops that, bacteria, whatever destroys crops. Got to cancel it, turn it off with a frequency, and it's healthy. You're just turning off the bad thing. And that's where that can be grasped. That's such a huge thing, because then we don't have to spray chemicals on the food anymore.
Yeah.
Genius.
We have some really cool things, I think, coming with tech in the years ahead. And I can't wait to see how good some of that is going to get at some point. I think it's going to wake a lot of people up, and it's going to make, in the right hands, it's going to make a lot of folks much more healthier, and make America healthy again. Okay, so again, what's the Labor Day promotion again for folks who want to?
Yeah. So Justin, your people would already naturally get a discount anyways, but our Labor Day special is giving even a greater discount. So I would take advantage of that. We typically really only push maybe 2 or 3 sales a year. Black Friday is always one of our biggest sales, but this one right here is where we see a lot of people over the course of the years. They're like, okay, summer's over, party's over, said the lady. And they're like, okay, let's get down to business, get some Braveheart war paint face on, and let's go after the damn, let's go after it and turn your life around in 40 days. Turn it around. It's all natural. Show you how to keep it off for good, so that way you don't gain it back. I want to be the last weight loss company anyone ever has to call. I'm not a weight loss company, but
that's the way to do it. Healthwithjustin.com, or you can call Maha, Missy, and the team at 269-964-4044. Do it today. Don't put it off any longer. Find out what they're doing, and I'm telling you, you're going to feel amazing. Yeah. That's the best part. How good you feel. I used to have a nap in the middle of the day. I used to reach for that caffeine coffee or something in the middle of the day. I don't have to do any of that anymore. I feel amazing. I sleep so well, and I can tackle the day. And the thing is, we need you in the fight.
Yeah.
We got to fight. We know that. That's no doubt about it. We got a fight ahead of us, and we're in it right now. We need you to be at your best to get through it. Missy, we always appreciate everything you do in the fight, and thank you for helping people feel healthy and be healthy again.
Yeah, I love it. All right. God bless you, and let's make America healthy again.